Syracuse added its fifth transfer of the 2025 cycle. They get Bryce Zephir, and he is a roster filler?
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Folks, this is a mini reaction podcast. The news broke last night. 24/7 sports reporter Mike McAllister tweeted out that Syracuse landed Montana State 6'4", 200-pound guard Bryce Zephir from the transfer portal. And we're going to break it all down here on this mini podcast. And here is the main takeaway. Bryce Zephir is a roster filler for Syracuse basketball. They have 15 scholarships that they can use. With Zephir now on the team, that means they have now used 11 scholarships, so they can use 4 more. But we're going to break down all the stats, the box score, the upside, if you will, and the advanced metrics with Bryce Zephir. But just remember the main takeaway. He's a roster filler. That's it. All right? And I got nothing against Bryce Zephir personally, but Syracuse basketball is trying to build an NCAA tournament team this offseason. They're trying, I guess. And I don't think Bryce Zephir really helps that goal of building an NCAA tournament team. If this guy turns into some hidden gem, this would be the ultimate hidden gems of hidden gems. Alex Klein is the greatest scout on planet Earth if Bryce Zephir ends up being a productive player for Syracuse basketball next year. And Adrian Autry deserves a raise and a contract extension if this guy really becomes a productive player. Because I'll be honest with you, I really don't know what they are seeing out of Bryce Zephir. First of all, there is no upside here. I'll be happily proven wrong about this, but I do not see the upside with Bryce Zephir. You can make an argument about William Kyle. You can make an argument about Ibrahim Soare. I don't see it with Zephir. He has been in college since 2020. He started in JUCO. Then for the next 2 years, he goes to North Texas. He goes back to JUCO for 2023-24, and then this past season he was at Montana State, which leads us to his box score stats last year. He played in 29 games. He started 15 of them and averaged about 20 minutes per game at Montana State. And Zephir averaged 5 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists per game. Actually, his one big strength is that he is a pretty good passer. The issue is he turns the ball over a ton. 1.5 turnovers per game. So 2 assists per game, but then 1.5 turnovers. That is not a good assist to turnover ratio. And 1.5 turnovers in 20 minutes? That's not good at all. He shot 47% from the field. He's actually pretty good at the rim. I believe he shoots 61% at the basket, but less than 30% from the three-point line a year ago on about 1 attempt per game. And he also only shot 62% from the free throw line, and he averaged over a half steal per game. So when you look at his box score stats, they do not jump out at you at all. And then you factor in that this guy has been in college since 2020. So where is the upside here with a guy like Bryce Zephir? I'll happily be proven wrong. I am a Syracuse fan. I am a Syracuse alum, but I do not see it. But wait, hold on. Coming up, we'll talk about his advanced metrics. Maybe the advanced metrics will tell a different story. Spoiler alert, don't. That's coming up next on Locked On Syracuse. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more, experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. Posting a job is free and simple, and within a day with multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. To connect with top talent and grow your business today. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props. Shout out to the Miami Heat right there. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Bryce Zephir's box score stats do not really jump out. Last year at Montana State, he averaged only 5 points per game, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, less than 30% from the three-point line, also around a 60% free throw shooter, and about a half steal per game in 20 minutes per game over at Montana State. And he's been in college since 2020, so we don't really know if he has much upside. But maybe it's possible that Bryce Zephir has really good underlying metrics that will suggest that, hey, maybe he was just not used properly, or maybe he needs a better role and he can succeed. I don't see it. I'm just being blunt. I tell it like I see it to you all. I don't get it. Which goes back to the main takeaway of Bryce Zephir is a roster filler for Syracuse basketball. You got 15 scholarships. If you're going to use all of them, this might be the 15th guy. All right? Because here are some facts. And we can use the Evan Maya system. It's not a perfect system by any means, but it does tell a pretty good, or give a pretty good idea on player value. All right? And I've used it before, and I will explain throughout this part what these numbers mean, okay? So first off, the higher number, the better in this scenario. You want a high number, okay? Bryce Zephir had a negative 3.63 overall rating last year. What does that mean? That means if there are 9 average Division I players on the floor, and Bryce Zephir is the 10th player, the team with Bryce Zephir, okay, that team of 5, Bryce Zephir and 4 other average D1 players versus 5 other average D1 players. Follow? That team with Zephir will be about 3 to 4 points worse than the other team per 100 possessions. It's kind of like baseball wins above replacement. So he's about 3 to 4 points worse per 100 possessions than your average Division I basketball player. And that rating of negative 3.63 was the second worst rating in the Big Sky Conference. The Big Sky Conference. Look, I have said before, and I will say it again. Just because a player is coming from a mid-major level does not make him bad. I mean, Florida just won the national title, and their 3 leading scorers all came from mid-major schools. But here's the difference. Those guys all succeeded at mid-major schools. Bryce Zephir did not last season. He did not succeed at all. He was the second lowest rated player in the Big Sky Conference. Again, it goes back to my takeaway of this is a roster filler move. But wait, Jackson, can he defend? No. Bryce Zephir is not a good defender. Last year on Evan Maya, he had a negative 2.4 rating on defense. Negative 2.4. That was worst in the Big Sky Conference. He was the second worst player overall in the Big Sky and the worst defender in the Big Sky. Again, what does it mean on defense specifically? If you have 9 average Division I players on the floor and Bryce Zephir is the 10th player, the team with Bryce Zephir is going to be about 2 to 3 points worse defensively per 100 possessions. For some further context, I think we can all agree that Chris Bell is not a good defender at all. He's a poor defender, actually. And the advanced metrics will tell you he is a poor defender. He got an Evan Maya defensive grade last year of negative 0.26. 0.26, and that was in the ACC. Bryce Zephir got a negative 2.4. Chris Bell is an all-conference defender compared to Bryce Zephir. Like, I'm not joking. That difference is about 2 points per 100 possessions. That's pretty much what Chucky Hepburn, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, was rated last year. I'm telling you, Bryce Zephir is a roster filler. That's it. I have no expectations for him. If he becomes a positive contributor, that would be outstanding scouting and development by Syracuse. Okay? And I will happily eat crow on it because I am a Syracuse fan and I want this team to win games. But I call it like I see it, which is why I'm also not really freaking out about this because he's a roster filler. But when you look at the transfer portal questions, all right, let's do a recap here. Can he shoot? No. Can he defend? No. Is he just damn good? No. So he doesn't check any of those boxes. He is, as I have said before, and I will say for one final time on this podcast, Bryce Zephir is a roster filler for the Orange. The good news is they still have 4 scholarships to play with. They do need a star. And I don't think that this impacts it. All right. So as far as what is coming up here on Locked On Syracuse in the future, tonight, ACC squad at 5 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, there may or may not be a full podcast regarding Syracuse football in the transfer portal. We'll see. But what I can guarantee you is there will be Poll Friday, which is who will be the first Syracuse football player drafted in the NFL draft. And speaking of the NFL draft, for your second listen here, you could check out the Locked On NFL Draft podcast with Damian Parson and Keith Sanchez. Your favorite collegiate players are getting ready for the next level, and you can get the latest draft rankings, rumors, and news every day. Find Locked On NFL Draft on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Folks, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. If you like this podcast, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoy this podcast, be sure to hit subscribe. Tell all your friends about Locked On Syracuse. And folks, I think I forgot to mention it during this mini podcast. I want to hear from you in the comments section below, your thoughts on Bryce Zephir landing with Syracuse basketball in the transfer portal. Everyone, I'll see you all again soon.